Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on your time zone. So let's just wait for 5 more minutes. Let other people join, and then we're gonna start session. Thank you. Hi guys, once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on your time zone. So how are you now, guys? You can just post it over the Slack channel, which is the live channel. Your comments, your message, your questions, whatever you have regarding the sessions or anything, you can post it over there. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi all. So before starting the sessions, like I would like to know like everybody's name. So just let me know what's your name and where you're from and what is your current profession. I'm happy to have this introduction. If so, it will be better. Like I would know that from where people are and what they are doing right now, and then we're gonna move forward with my introduction. Hi everyone. Yep. Okay. So how many people we have today? All right. So I'm assuming like 10, 11 people we have. So it will not take like more than 5 minutes to just post it over the Slack. Yep. Okay. This is Russell. I used to be a teacher. Great. Great. This is Hectic and East Coast and currently math teacher. Awesome. All right. Okay. We got more audience. So now we have 14 people in the room. Perfect. I'm South Carolina realtor. Wow. This is NG. Awesome. Okay. Yep. Okay. Hi, this is and then Miami. Great. From Canada. Said it is here. Teacher. Okay. Cambridge, UK. Awesome. Okay. Great. We also have a students. Okay. Anybody else who want to introduce? I'm just waiting 1 or 2 minutes and then I'll start my introduction. Then we're gonna move forward. Okay. Teacher assistant New Jersey. Great. So I'm assuming like a lot of people, like almost like 50 to 60% people are teacher here. So good to know about it. Like great, but I'm not working now. So anybody left or 1 more minute? Anybody else want to introduce? They can post it over the Slack. I'm reading the Slack comment right now in live channel. All right, so we have enough. So now we have 15 people in the room. Great, awesome. So please confirm you able to see my video as well as you able to hear me very clearly, as well as you can see my screen. Yes. Okay, perfect. So yes, sound and video good. Okay, all right. So first of all, thank you all for joining this Salesforce journey. Uh, Before starting Salesforce as well as my introduction, just want to highlight some of the points which you're gonna remember every day whenever you're going to join the class. Like, so somebody saying something? Let me just check if somebody's saying something. Okay, let me just. Okay, so the point is, whenever you're gonna join that class, I'm gonna post the link over the Slack channel before 10 minutes every day whenever we have class. So you can join from there. That is the first point. Second point, in my class, you are free to unmute, and if you want to speak in front of others, you can do that. As well as if you not feel comfortable, you can post it over the Slack channel, whatever queries and doubt you have. Okay. This is the second point. And the third point, you are allowed to ask any questions. Yeah, that is permanent link. You can bookmark it, or every day I will post. So you can join from there also. So either you can bookmark or you can just go on the live channel and just click from there and join on a regular basis. Okay, so let's just move ahead. So let's start. So this is your first introduction class regarding the Salesforce. So now if you are joining this class, so I'm assuming that you all know at least what is Salesforce. If not, that I'm going to give you the brief idea, as well as you know the market of Salesforce right now, how fast the Salesforce is growing right now, and it is beating all the companies in the world, not in the US region, but in the world. That is the power of Salesforce right now. It started in 1999, and now it is becoming a world's #1 company where people want to work, as well as the tech guys who really want to explore their career, and even the non-tech guy who really want to explore their career, they also moving towards Salesforce. Because just want to tell you one fact: by 2025, Salesforce need 4.2 billion people. It means 4.2 Salesforce technical architect, along with consultant, along with developer, along with admin. That much people required to maintain the Salesforce, because Salesforce now becoming a huge. Their servers are huge. Their everything gonna be huge. So that is why they required 4.2 billion people all around the world to maintain the Salesforce activity. And right now we are shorting, like if I calculate around all over around the world. So right now it is shorting like almost 2 point somewhere 2.7 million people are missing in the world who are not ready to join Salesforce because of the skills, because all people are not moving towards the Salesforce. That's why. So that is the huge gap we are filling right now, and you have that much opportunity in the world to fill that gap. Now, this is your first session, so I'm going to introduce you Salesforce. What is Salesforce and what is the cloud computing? What is the CRM? And please let me know if I'm speak very fast, or if you want me to take a pause, just let me know over the Slack channel. So this is my introduction. This is a little bit about me. My name is Krishna Kumar Yadav. I'm working as a technical architect in Cognizant, and right now I'm in Dubai. So I'm joining this class from Dubai right now, and I'm 9x Salesforce certified. I'm also an application certified architect from the Salesforce, and I have more than around 3,300 batches, along with the like somewhere 2.79 lakh points, as well as I'm also a Trailhead mentor, and I'm also a community speaker. So Salesforce organize different seminars and webinars. So some of the community group, they invite me to speak there. So this is about me. If you want to connect with me, I will forward you my LinkedIn or Twitter. You can contact me there, as well as you can contact me over the Slack channel. All right, so one more fact which I want to tell you about me. Okay, one question for you guys. How many people are from non-tech? Like people who never been to tech industry before, or non-IT? How many people are here from non-IT background? Okay.
I'm non-IT.
Great.
Sumit here.
Yep. Okay. So one more fact about, just want to highlight that I'm also from non-IT background till 2017. I have done my BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration, and I started my journey as a business development manager. And then when I see the Salesforce growing, then in 2017 I started learning Salesforce, and right now I'm working as a technical architect in Cognizant. So you can assume, like, if you starting right now, so if you dedicatedly progress in your Salesforce journey, definitely within 6 months or within upcoming years, you're gonna land up somewhere, maybe a Salesforce admin job or maybe a developer job. And once you're gonna land up, eventually you're gonna move. So I started my job as a junior developer. 4 years before I started my journey as a junior developer. Then I gradually move up to the developer, then senior developer, then consultant, and then now working as an architect. So yeah, I will tell you what is those meaning. What is the Salesforce admin, developer, then consultant, then architect. So I will tell you about this. I have this thing in my slide, that what is the meaning of each role, in which role you should go, which role, what you feel like, what things you need to know. So this is about me as well as some of the fact related to Salesforce. So let's just move on. So this is the introduction from today's Salesforce class. So I want to know from you guys, like, what you know about Salesforce. What do you think? What is Salesforce? You can post it over the Slack, or if you want to unmute, you can unmute yourself and you can just let me know what you think. What is Salesforce? It's a cloud platform. Okay. Okay, I'm checking this slide also. It's a CRM. Okay, good. Cloud platform. I think it still don't have a clear understanding of it. Yeah, that's okay. But still, whatever you have, you can just let me know. Number one, CRM platform. Great. Should be related with commerce business. Yes. Okay. So I'm assuming, like, people are whatever they are saying, like, it's pretty much about it, customer relations, of course. So I'm also checking this one, customer satisfaction, connecting between customers and company, of course. So guys, whatever you have commented over the live channel or in Zoom chat, all are correct. This is all are correct. You can say in your words, in your understanding, whatever you just said, it is correct. Of course, it's a platform. It's related to the cloud, as well as it's related to the customer, as well as it is related to the business, as well as it is related to the customer relationship. So what you guys just explained about the Salesforce, whatever you just said, it is correct. But in general term, or in a overall, if you look into that, what is Salesforce? Salesforce is a big giant right now, but originally Salesforce developed as a CRM product. CRM product means, let me just move forward to the slide. So before starting that definition and everything, this is the agenda for today class, which I'm going to cover today. So I hope that somebody also shared the PDF file where you need to create a developer edition of Salesforce, as well as I'm going to show you the steps how to create, as well as today we're gonna create the Trailhead account as well. So these are the agenda I'm going to cover. So since Salesforce connected to the cloud computing, so we're gonna look into what is cloud computing. Then we're gonna look into what is CRM, and in the CRM, what are the services we have. So we have mainly three kind of services: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, which I'm going to explain you one by one. So These are the agenda I'm going to cover today. So let's move on one by one. So before starting that, let me just give you another facts which I already told you in the beginning. Salesforce is a cloud-based technology, first of all, and it is a right number one CRM right now. This is not just it. It is a cloud-based technology in the beginning, but now it is like almost 21 years now. 21 years in Salesforce when Salesforce started. Before when it started, it launched as a cloud computing which handle the CRM activity. But now it is more than that. So first we're gonna look into when Salesforce launched. On that time, what is the meaning of Salesforce? And then we're gonna look into what is the actual meaning right now in the current market. Because now Salesforce is not just focusing on CRM, not just focusing on cloud computing. It is focusing more than that. So Salesforce is your customer success platform. Of course, you all have given the answers that it is a platform. It is related to the customer. And why it is related to the customer? Because, and why it is related to the business? Because nowadays, if you can see any business, they're struggling to sell their products. They're struggling to sell their services. They're not reaching to the correct customer or correct buyer to sell their product, to sell their services. That's why Salesforce working as a mediator, working as a platform, working as a customer relationship management product, just to connecting the business to the buyers. So Salesforce working in that area, first of all, which help the business to sell their products, sell their services, to market their services or market their products, analyze the business requirement, analyze the customer requirement, what customer want, analyze that where is the uh, business is lagging to sell the products. So these things Salesforce identify, and after the identification, Salesforce generate a product over the cloud computing platform, and that product is going to use by the business as well as the customer. I'm going to give you one example related to this. Let's suppose I'm a business owner, and right now I'm selling a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, but because of due to pandemic, like you know that it's a COVID situation, like we just coping up right now. So I'm not able to identify the correct customers. Even I'm not able to reach to those customers. This is just a small example. Now, if I'm not over the internet, many people are not going to buy my Wi-Fi or router or whatever services I'm selling. But Salesforce providing a cloud platform. What is cloud meaning? Cloud meanings like from anywhere, from any point, I can access my local repository. Same like Google Gmail, like you guys using your Gmails, your Outlook, and whatever email services you are using, or even a WhatsApp or any kind of instant messaging or email messaging services you are using, you can log in from anywhere. You have your username, you have your passwords, and you log in and you check your emails. You can send your emails. Same like it is just not sending an email or receiving an email. In Salesforce, Salesforce developed something else, but it's over the cloud. So you can log in anytime, you can do whatever you want to do in that platform, and then once you're done, you can log out. So Salesforce developed a product which helped the business. So here I want to sell my product or services to the customer, but I don't have any way to reach to the customer. So Salesforce provided me one platform where I can design my website. Once I design my website, I can launch over the platform of Salesforce. And once I launch over the Salesforce platform, I can just share that website link, and customer can go on that link from anywhere in the world, and then they can contact me directly through that website. And it is happening because of the sales. This is just a small example which I'm giving you, but it is not just to selling the Wi-Fi or routers. It is selling everything over the Salesforce platform. Initially, when it started, it just focusing on the banking sector in the beginning, as well as the retailing sector. But now sales was focusing on education, health, even the industries which are not part of the retail sector, even the banking sector which are not related to the financial government. Now sales was also focusing on non-profit organization. Sales was giving them a free license to use their product for the non-profit organization. Also, now sales was also entering into the uh, Netflix, like a Netflix cloud computing, where sales was gonna be upload a lot of content. So you can take a subscription and you can see those content. As well as sales was also going to launch a SoundCloud, where you can log in and you can listen your music, watch your movies. Sales was also planning to launch that platform also. So sales was identifying those requirements where the business lagging to sell their product to the customer, where the customer not able to find the proper services or product. So sales was identifying those gaps between the buyer and seller, and then sales was designing those services over the platform, and it is launching those services through the cloud. So cloud means a customer can access from anywhere, a business can access from anywhere. So this is the small idea or a small introduction about Salesforce. What is Salesforce doing right now? What is Salesforce when it is started? What is done by the Salesforce initially? So of course, Salesforce started by 1999 by Mark Benioff. So Mark Benioff is a formal executive from the uh, there is a what's the company name? It's a Adobe. It's a Adobe company now. Oracle. Now people know from the name of Oracle. Previously, it is Adobe. So Mark Benioff is from the Oracle chief executive, and he left that company in 1999, and he started the Salesforce. So this is about a small introduction about Salesforce. Now you got the idea what Salesforce are doing right now. Salesforce identifying the need between the customer and the buyer and the seller. And once it is identified those requirements, it launch the product over the platform. And product can be anything. The product, if I name it, it's a sales cloud, service cloud, community cloud, health cloud, education cloud, industry cloud. These are the products Salesforce launch. This is just few name, but right now in the market there are 34 cloud services which is provided by Salesforce. 34 cloud service, and in each cloud, Salesforce have a different modules, different practice. If I talk about sales cloud or service cloud, because here in this Salesforce journey, I'm going to explain you sales cloud and service cloud, because those are the base cloud which you really need to have a good knowledge. Over those knowledge, you can build up your community knowledge, your other platform knowledge as well. So let's just move on. So in this definition, the definition of Salesforce, there are two words, and those two words you also explain that it is a cloud as well as it is a number one CRM. So these two words I want to highlight. I want to let you know that what is the actual meaning of cloud, what is the actual meaning of CRM. So first of all, we're gonna understand what is actual CRM. So the word is an acronym, which means like customer relationship management. So first of all, why it is required? Why Salesforce focusing on CRM? Um, a normal idea. Uh, let's say if you guys, or if I'm going to open a business or open a services, then of course why I'm opening the services or businesses, because I want to sell. And who to whom I'm going to sell? Maybe I can sell to the single customer, or maybe a group of customer, or maybe another company, so that another company is going to be my customer. So once I'm going to sell my product or services to those customers, I should have a good relationship with them. If I'm not going to have a good relationship with them, then next time they're not going to come to my place and not going to buy a services or a product. So that is also important, that a good and healthy relationship between buyers and sellers. Also, like let's say, since I'm going to start the business, in the beginning maybe I don't have much customer, but later on when I'm going to have a more customers, how I'm going to track my sales, that how many people I have sold in a day, in a month, on a in a yearly basis, which product I'm selling very good, or which product I need to have focus more, or vice versa. So how I'm going to identify those information? So I need to track that information on a daily basis. So in the beginning, like when the business started, I'm talking about like 1960 or 1950. On that time, when the business started, they does not have these electronic things. So what they do, they normally write on a piece of paper or in a booklet. They write like, okay, today I sell this much product and this much profit I have won. That is from 1950 or 1940 things. But now, if I'm talk about nowadays, like whenever you sell any product or whenever you do anything, they have some kind of software in their system. Or maybe if I take about one example, like it is an Excel sheet. So uh, there are some many business right now, small businesses who use the Excel sheet, who put on a daily basis like how many product they have sell, on which quantity they have sell, what is the price, what is the total amount they sell, and on a monthly basis they do the filtering, sorting on the Excel sheet, and then they're gonna identify, okay, this much product I have sold, this is my best customer, this is that and that. So those are the information they are tracking in the Excel sheet. But now that is very much important to just to track the information, because we want to make a good relationship with customers. To who are my customer, how I'm going to know if I'm not going to track that information, how I'm going to know that which is my best customers, who are a good customer to whom I should give more discount, or maybe, because one thing you should know, that customer only come to you only for two reasons. If the customer coming again and again at your place, there are only two possible reasons. One reason, your product or service is really really good, they feel satisfaction when they buy the product or services from you. This is the first reason. And the second reason, maybe your nature or behavior, how you deal with them. So that thing is giving them an idea that I should go to that shop. This is human tendency. Whenever you go anywhere, you like some places, you like the services, you like the nature of that guy who's selling the KFC product in the KFC, or maybe it is near to your location. But these two factors are the major ones. Maybe their product or service is really, really good, or maybe the way dealing with you or behaving with you is really good. Those are the two reasons that customer go on a regular basis. So um, now you need to identify what are the customers you have done, how many people you sold. So uh, still there are some businesses who track those information through the Excel sheet. But if I talk about the big giants or big companies, they're not using Excel sheet, they use some kind of software. In that software, they do this, uh, they store those information, and then they run some kind of business logics, and then they populate the results. So same way, there is a customer relationship management. It is a software, it is a piece of software which just maintain the interaction with customers. So interaction means like whatever we're doing with customer, maybe we are doing the marketing of our product, or maybe we are selling that product to the customer, or maybe we are getting the feedback related to the customer, or maybe we are providing the support after the product we sold to the customer. A customer call us that asking that I'm having problem while using your product. Can you please connect over the call, or can you please explain me how to use it? So anything, any interaction with customer which we going to have in the CRM product, in the CRM, we're gonna capture that interaction. And once you're gonna capture those interaction, that interaction can be anything. It can be a marketing call, it can be a sales to the product, it can be a feedback. Like after selling the product service, I can ask for feedback. So that thing also possible to capture in the CRM product. So CRM is a customer relationship management. It is a strategy managing the organization relationship and interaction with customers. So that is the actual meaning of CRM. We are just doing the management of the relationship between buyers and sellers, and whatever interaction they are having, we are just capturing that interaction into a software. Yes, correct. So this is just an example. Okay, somebody is raise a hand. Let me see. Yeah. When you check flight tickets few times, subsequently the price increase suddenly. Is it by the help of Salesforce? No, this is not helped by the Salesforce. This is done by the artificial intelligence. It is done by the uh, artificial intelligence. Again another language, because now everybody focusing on artificial intelligence. So if you see the Alexa, the Alexa in the market, or if you see in the Apple, there is a Siri. Whenever we say something to them, they do something. They are so same like Alexa. There is a AI, artificial intelligence. Even Salesforce also investing in the artificial intelligence. What it do, it will just capture the human voice, human behavior, human pattern, the pattern which we repeat every day. So suppose if you are checking a flight, you start checking, and then initially it is low and now it is getting increased. Why? Because that behind the scene, that artificial intelligence language is capturing your pattern. So if suppose you are checking your flight from, let's say, 6th of December. So 6th of December I'm traveling from Dubai to India again. So I was checking that flight yesterday. In the beginning it is low, but after 10 to 15 minutes search, the same flight is like 100 or 20 bucks more. So behind the scene there's a AI language is working. But Salesforce, it is not Salesforce. It is a AL part which Salesforce also focusing to implement in the Salesforce. So yeah, somebody have raised the hand, so you can let me know.
Yeah, it's Sedat's creation. Just
Yeah.
a question. I just want to find out, probably most of the companies already have their CRM systems before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And what is the basic motivation to convince them to upgrade their CRM system into Salesforce?
Yeah, that is my upcoming slide. After the example, I'm going to let you know that when I'm going to explain you the features of Salesforce and the advantage of Salesforce, automatically you will get the answer that why other system or other company have to move to the Salesforce. You will automatically get the answers.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So let's move on. So this is just an example what I have given. So each business, each companies have these three people they should have: a marketing people or sales people, as well as the customer services people who daily call to the customer or maybe interact over the emails. Because nowadays, like sometimes calling is not a good part. So they just drop an email to the customer asking for their feedbacks. So let's say if I have an ice cream parlor and I want to track the information, like how many ice cream I have sold and which ice cream is the best selling and in which season I'm selling the ice cream more. So those kind of information, and from where people are coming at my place, which are the age category who buy the ice cream more from my store. So those kind of information I can track over the CRM software. And in that software I can have a marketing department, I can have a sales department, and I can have a customer services department. I can differentiate the information based on these departments. So one of the question, like Sajid just asked, that the the answer to that in a short way, like nowadays, like if you Google it, like how many CRM software is there in the market, there are tons of software, and the giants are like, if I talk about, there is a SAP, which is also a CRM. Then there is a Microsoft Azure, they also have a CRM. Then there is a AWS, that they also have a CRM. And then there are like Zoho, and then Customer 360. There are like bunch of CRM software which are popular in the market. But why Salesforce become number one? So the one reason which I feel while learning the Salesforce, it's the UI. That UI is really, really interactive. If you look into the SAP, if you look into the Azure, AWS, Zoho, some of them have a good UI, but not the best one. So the Salesforce UI, which I'm going to show you when we're going to start. The first part is UI, because UI is really, really user friendly. When you log in into Salesforce, when you look into any piece of software, that is really important. After that, you can build anything in Salesforce. You can connect any system to the Salesforce. The other CRM tools, they have a limitation, some of them. What is UI? Yeah, that is a user interface. User interface means whenever you log in into Gmail, or whenever you log in into your WhatsApp. Let's say you open your WhatsApp, so the things you're showing in WhatsApp or Gmail, that is your UI, user interface. So same way, Salesforce have developed their unique UI, as well as you can also develop your own UI. If you don't like the Salesforce provide out of the box, you can develop your own UI. You can develop according to your business requirement. Let's say Salesforce develop the UI in blue and gray and white color, but your business logo have a green and red and white color. So you can change the UI, just click of buttons. You no need to write any code for that. You can just go in a setting and you can do some setting, and then the colors and everything got changed automatically. That is why people are moving toward the Salesforce, because handling the Salesforce, doing something over the Salesforce, it's not required you to code every time. Even almost, if you are good in Salesforce admin, which we're going to have after 1 month, definitely I will make sure that everybody have a good idea about Salesforce admin. If you have a good knowledge about a Salesforce, then definitely 80% of business requirement you can just do by click, drag and drop, and just turning on, turning off some settings. You no need to write even a single line of code. You just have to turn on some settings, turn on some uh, areas where you need to turn on. You can do some there, and then you're good to go. That is why people are loving Salesforce, because if you go into the other CRM software, those, if you want to make a single change, you have to write a code over there. Even a single change. SAP, I also worked on SAP when I was working as a business development manager. On that time, I have used the SAP software. On that time, if something happened over the UI, every time we have to wait. A tech guy from the backend, he took like almost 2 or 3 days to fix it. Just the UI part, if he want to fix, if we want that box from here to there, he took almost 1 day to shift that box. But in Salesforce, if I want to shift anything, just a 10 to 15-minute task, and I can change the whole UI in the Salesforce. That is the power of Salesforce CRM. That if you have a basic knowledge of admin, you can also do on your own. You no need required of very much tech guy who know the coding. Nothing. There is nothing like, there is no concept like. And Salesforce only focusing on those things which are related to admin. There are development part also. If you really want to build like a very good platform application which can handle bulk of data or a lot of areas, then you can go to the coding part also. But if you just want to maintain a mid-level of company size CRM, not just CRM, but other clouds, you can just drag and drop and click and everything done. That is why people are loving to use the Salesforce. Also, if you buy any other CRM platform, the costing is relatively very high. But in Salesforce, it is like whenever you want to use, you can just pay the subscription. Whenever you don't want to use it, just don't pay the subscription. That is the funda. So it is based on the subscription base. So you just buy a license, you buy the subscription, and you can use it. Okay, so let's move on. I'm checking if anybody have any questions. Nope. So these are the benefits of CRM, which I already explained. So I'm just gonna read for you. Better client relationship, of course. When you using any piece of software as a CRM, let's say we are using a Salesforce, so our client relationship would be better because we are tracking the information. We know that which customer are buying more product from us, what things we have to give them, improve ability to cross sell. Of course, when you are tracking the information, you eventually, when you grow in your business, you're gonna expand your business activities. Maybe right now you are selling the ice cream, maybe later on you're gonna sell the bakery items or some other items. So you can do the cross selling in the same platform. Increase team collaboration, of course, when you are maintaining those information over the CRM. You can have a better collaboration, team collaboration, where you can look each team information, like there is a marketing team, there is a sales team, and there is a service team. So you can track each team information separately in the CRM. And then later on, when they want to collaborate in somewhere, let's say one customer where marketing team also working, even the sales team also working, even the service team also. So all three can share that same customer information in one UI. They no need to go to sales department to ask that, can I have this customer information? They all three log in at the same time, and after login, they can see the same customer information and in their desktop, in their laptop. They no need to go to sales department to ask the information like this. Improve efficiency in serving clients. Of course, when you're going to have a CRM, Salesforce as a CRM, then of course you're going to improve the efficiency of serving clients because you are tracking the information. You know that what is going on in your business, how much profit you are earning, what are the areas you have to improve. Greater staff satisfaction. Of course, when you are tracking those information in the piece of software, so you know that how much staff you need, and each staff dedicated to particular area. And once they do the any particular activity, they have the satisfaction. If you're going to let them do more activities, more different activities, then staff will feel frustrated. If they focus on only one activity which they are good at, they will feel more satisfaction. Increase revenue and profitability. Okay, I got one question, like cross sale. Cross sale means like, let's say I'm selling right now ice cream. I have an ice cream parlor, and my ice cream I'm selling in the Miami region. Let's say I'm selling in a Miami, but later on, uh, I'm having good customer now, and I open the second branch in California also, any other US region I have opened. Now I also have a good response from there. But now I'm seeing there one more opportunity, that there in that area I don't have any bakery shop or any other opportunity. Let's say not a bakery shop, but a retail market of the ice cream parlor. So what I can do, I grab that opportunity, and I can open a big giant or big retail store related to the ice cream parlor or related to the bakery item. So previously I'm selling as an ice cream parlor, but now I become into the bakery owner. So I'm transitioning my business from one particular area and I'm expanding into the another area. because bakery is not my main profession. My main profession is a ice cream parlor, but I saw that opportunity and I shift my opportunity into the bakery. So if I talk about, like, let's say I'm selling a Wi-Fi or routers or computer or any technical item. Let's say I'm selling a mobile phone. So after analyzing the requirement, that area also required a repair shop. So I can open a repair shop for them. So that is a cross selling. So cross selling is like it is a another opportunity in the same region what you are doing right now. So if you're able to identify that opportunity, you can open the business in that area also. So that is called cross selling. You got the opportunity in another one and you are start selling another product, but your main product is like whatever you are doing in the beginning, that is your main product. So increased revenue and profit, of course, when you track everything, each department have a correlation between other teams as well as the client also having a satisfaction, even your staff also get satisfied. So you have more revenue and profitability. And of course, when you track those information, you will know that where you need to focus more, where you need to do the cost saving. Let's say you are selling 10 type of ice cream, but two of the ice cream people are not liking. So you stop making those one. You by stop making those one, you will saving your cost, because nobody like those ice creams because it is not the best selling. Even you're not able to get the uh, profit from those two ice creams. So you can reduce those ice cream production. Even let's say you have a more staff, or maybe let's say previously you hire someone who deliver the product, who deliver your ice cream to the customer doorstep. But now instead of giving them any other delivery, you hire your own delivery van and you are delivering your other customers. So that is also a saving. Also, you can identify your areas where you can improve your costing, and that those improvement come when you have the all information track in a CRM. Then only you know that, okay, this is the area I can reduce my cost, this is the area I can increase my profit. That thing only possible if you have all the information in one platform, and that platform called a CRM. And CRM is a piece of software where we record the information which is related to the customer interaction with the business. This is an overall term. This is not just a Salesforce term. The CRM, it's a piece of software where we maintain the information related to the customer interaction with the business. So Salesforce focused initially on this CRM opportunity, and they introduced their platform as a service, where they have launched the Sales Cloud and Service Cloud as a product to use. But now Salesforce working on 34 clouds. So in the 34 clouds, Salesforce providing their services, not just CRM, but some other areas as well. So since I have explained you CRM, please let me know before moving to the cloud if anybody have any question related to the CRM definition or anything. Up till now, if anybody have any questions or any area which you want me to repeat, okay, or if you want me to move forward. So I'm thinking about to take a 5-minute break. We can have a 5-minute break and then we can start back. So you can grab your coffee or tea or water, and then we're gonna start from what is cloud computing. Okay. All right. So let me just put the stopwatch. So we're gonna start from the cloud computing. Okay. Let me start the stopwatch. 5 minutes is okay, no, guys? 5 minutes is enough to grab the water, tea, and coffee. Or I guess 5 minutes is okay, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let me just share my screen to start the watch. Yep. All right, guys. See you after 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll answer your question, the last one, which we have after the 5 minute break. Hi guys, I'm back. Uh, Let me know once you all are back. So we're gonna start back. Let me just share my screen again. Okay, so everybody is back now. So before moving further, I would like just to answer that question. Which job title does handle Salesforce CRM in your company? So uh, it is not a job that who handle the CRM activity. Actual, what is going on when you buy, when let's say I'm doing a business of ice cream parlor, I contact to the Salesforce and then I buy the license, and that license is per user. It means how many users in my company who are going to use that Salesforce. Let's say there is a sales team, I have 2 people there, and there is a marketing team, I have 2 people, and then service team, they have they have 2 people. So I need 6 license because I have 6 people. Those 6 people are going to use the Salesforce CRM, Sales Cloud or Service Cloud. So for sales people, I can buy a Sales Cloud license. For marketing people, I can buy a Marketing Cloud license, and for Service Cloud, I can buy a 2 Service Cloud license. So I bought 6 license for those 6 people. So once I bought those license, I'm going to create a user in that Salesforce. I'm going to create a 6 user for those 6 people, and after creating, they're gonna generate their password and login URL, login username, and then they're gonna log in. I'll show you that how they're going to do. But uh, if I talk about your question, like what job title handles Salesforce CRM activity? Yeah, each in Salesforce. So there is not a CRM job which handle. It is related to Salesforce admin, Salesforce development, Salesforce architect, and Salesforce consultant. So what it means, if you talk about like the CRM activity which you handle, you're not going to handle the CRM activity. It is their company user. It is that, let's say, if there is a Nike company, so in the Nike company there is a sales representative, marketing representative, and then service representative. Those are the end user who going to use the Salesforce. It is not your duty to handle the CRM activity. Your duty, let's say I bought that license for those 6 people. Now I want to implement, I want that design, I want that functionality, because Salesforce giving you the platform. Now that user login, they don't know where to go. They want this kind of UI. They want that if they put something, that they give you the requirement after buying the license. They don't know how to insert the data, how to do that. Those things. Now your job role is come into the picture. Creating an object, creating a data sheet, creating an everything, creating the UI. Now your job, now your from here it is your role as a Salesforce admin, as a Salesforce development. You're not going to handle the CRM activity. It is the company users who going to use that CRM. We have to configure that CRM for them. We have now this configuration can be done through admin part if it is a small one, or a medium one. If it is a major one, then we're going to go to the development part, and we're going to develop those things. And after development, we're going to provide that things to those 6 users. So those 6 users can log in and can use and can store the data. So as a Salesforce developer, as a Salesforce admin, as a Salesforce consultant, as a Salesforce architect, it is our duty to develop and design and architect everything for those users. And then once it's done, they're going to use. I hope this you got the idea. Like, we're not going to handle the CRM activity. It is the company user who buying the Salesforce license. It is their user who going to handle the CRM activity. We are just going to configure that CRM. We are just going to build, let's say, out of the box functionality. I got some features, but they want to build some more features. So for that, we have to use admin part, development part. And then once it's done, we gonna provide them so they can use it. Anything extra, anything configuration, anything customization, it's come to the admin part, development part, consulting part, and architect part. Once it's done, it is the end user, and the end user is always from the company side, not from our side. Our responsibility, our duty, since you are learning a Salesforce admin and Salesforce development, it is your duty to develop that functionality, to configure that functionality into their Salesforce org. And once you're done, they're going to use. That's it. I'll show you those things in a real time. How I have some license from the Salesforce sandbox also, as well as the free developer edition. I'll show you that how this thing are going on. So this is just an first initial class. So you just focus on these terms, because these terms coming every day. Cloud computing, CRM, these things coming every day classes. So you should be good in those areas first. And then the thing which you just asked, that is there any job title which handle the Salesforce CRM? No, there is no job title which handle the Salesforce CRM, because handling the Salesforce CRM is from company side. It is a company user to whom they buying the license. Our responsibility, our duty is just to configure customization of that Salesforce platform, and after that we just provide them that we have done, you can use it. Each individual has to have each license. Yeah, of course. So in a real time, Salesforce selling a license user based. So let's say you want to use a marketing cloud and you want one marketing cloud license. So only one marketing user can log in. You can able to create only one username and password. And with that, only at a time, only one user can log in. Okay, so let's move on to the what is cloud computing. So nowadays you hearing this word cloud computing more of time. Before giving you the explanation of cloud computing, let me just talk about I'm talking about 1940s, 1950s. On that time, if you really want to build something over the tech industry, you have to buy the storage, you have to buy the networks, you have to buy the tech specialist, you have to bought these kind of things. Then you have to buy the equipments, and then you set up a server, then you set up a connection, then you set up a database. And for setting up those things, you need a highly trained professionals in IT industry. If I talk about 1960, 1970, on that time, this is the thing required on that time. But now, thanks to the cloud computing, now it is no more required. We does not require a database, we does not require connections, we does not require servers, we does not require equipments also to establish those things. Nowadays, everything on virtual. So I give you one example. Let's say your Gmail account. So what you do on a daily basis, like you just put your username and password and you log in. And after you log in, you just check your emails. If you want to send an email, you can send the email. If you want to send a file, you can send the file also. And in the email, you also got the Google Drive. In that Google Drive, you put your files. You got up to 15 GB free space. So in that 15 GB free space, you put your data. You can also use Google Sheets as a Word document, as a PPT. So those things are free, provided by the Salesforce, up to 15 GB. After that, if you are exceeding that limit that Google is asking you to pay, or if you want to increase your space, you have to buy a subscription from Google. But previously, if you want to implement this kind of functionality, you have to buy servers, you have to buy networks, you have to buy data storage, then the highly trained professional who can configure those things. But because of the cloud computing, now it is on demand, self-service. It is a remote server where we're going to store, manage, and process our data. All the data is not going to reside in your computer. It is going to store over the cloud. So when you write any email, when you send any email, it is not going to store in your local drive. It is over the Gmail server. So whenever you want to access that data, you just log in into Gmail and you can access. Same way, Salesforce have implemented everything over the cloud, where you will get a username and password. When you log in through that username and password, you will have everything. Whatever services they are providing, you can check what are the services, what are the license I have, what users in my organization. Those things you will see. So nowadays, the cloud computing meanings, first of all, it is a remote server. You does not have to buy a physical equipment for that. You only need to have a username and password where you can log in and you can manage and store and process your data. Now it is on demand. For this, you only require two things. First, a Wi-Fi connection or an internet connection, and second thing, your laptop or desktop. Those are the two requirements to access the Salesforce data, to access Salesforce services anywhere in the world. If you want to access anything from Salesforce, just internet connection and the laptop or desktop, or maybe a phone. If you are using a Salesforce application in the phone, so phone. So these three things are required just to access your data. Everything in the Salesforce you can access directly through internet, and that thing is possible through the cloud computing, because cloud computing means you are accessing your data from somewhere, but your actual data is residing on the servers, and that servers can be anywhere in the world. Yeah, of course, you can back up your data into the hard drives. Those data, whichever is there in your cloud storage, you can back up all the data in your local drive as well. But you can only back up those data up to a certain level. If you want to back up all the data, you have to raise the request. You have to connect to the Salesforce support team. They're going to give you the all data access, so you can back up. So you can back up into the local drive. Yes. So you need a broad network access. Resource pooling. Resource pooling means, let's say at a time, I'm also using the Salesforce. I'm a part of that organization, and then there are 15 other users who are also going to use that Salesforce. So the same Salesforce org. So what is doing? If I talk about the example of Gmail, let's say every second, like there are millions of people who are accessing the Gmail. So behind the scene, if how Gmail or how Google is managing, they having the resource pooling. Resource pooling means, let's say in the backend, let's say they have a 15 resource. 15 resource you can understand like a agent, in a real time. If we go to the airport and just to boarding and check-in, on that time there are air flight attendants who check our boarding pass and everything, and then they gonna let us into the plane. Same way, when you put your username and password in Gmail, on that time in the behind there is a 15 agents or virtual agent who going to map your username and password. They just check whether the user existing in the Gmail server or not. If it is exist, they're gonna let you in. If it is not, they're gonna throw the error on the UI that username and password is not correct. So same way, 15, if millions of people log in at a time, on that time those 15 virtual agent, they do the resource pooling. Resource pooling means, let's say 10 people log in at the same time, so all 10 people get divided under the 15 agent, so they can check it, and then they're gonna let you know, let you in the Gmail once you log in. So that's how they're going the resource pooling. So in the backend, whatever agents are working, it is a virtual agent. It is a piece of code written behind the scene who check the username and password. Once it is done, they're gonna let you in. So this resource pooling they are doing through the servers. There is a resource pooling mechanism in the servers when you implement. That is a very vast thing. So just for understanding, think like that. If millions of people going to use the Salesforce in a single second. So Salesforce have a resource in the backend who do the resource pooling. Resource pooling means they're just dividing the users into chunk. So in one shot, 10 people log in instantly, and then 20, and then 30, and 40, and 50 like this. But we see that when we log in instantly. It is for user experience. But in the backend, if million people log in a 1 second, Salesforce let them log in into chunks. That's how they do the resource pooling. And then rapid elasticity. Rapid elasticity means like they can scale their network at their will. If they want to expand their network from other areas, from other sectors, because right now Salesforce is, if there are some areas in the world where Salesforce is not reachable yet, I mean, you can log in into the Salesforce from anywhere, but Salesforce does not have market on those areas. There are some countries, there are some cities where the Salesforce is not implemented yet. So we have the opportunity to implement there. So we can scale the Salesforce network there also. So these all things are related, whichever in the cloud computing, these are like in a technical terms. So no need to bother about it, like no need to go in detail, because this is in the backend side. You just need to understand the cloud computing means we have a remote server where we are storing, managing, and processing our data online, where we just put a username and password, and then we do our things and we log out. So whatever things we are doing, it is going to store in the remote servers. And the same thing Salesforce have implemented. Okay, so let's just move on. So these are the things which are mandatory for cloud computing, where, as I told you, hardware, maybe a laptop, PC, or mobile. And then you should have a network connection, because we are going to use a cloud, and cloud is on over the internet. So we need an internet connection. And then a server. So this server is going to be a mediator between your hardware and the database. So here, when we're going to use the Salesforce, so we have a Salesforce server, which is going to connect our hardware with the Salesforce database. Database where our data is storing. Hardware is our laptop or PC. So when we're going to put username and password, so it is going to connect our hardware with that database, Salesforce database. Which top 5 countries have more use and implementation? For now, the number 1 is UK, then US, and then there's Europe side. In the Europe side, it's a Netherlands and Germany, and then in Australia, and one more is Singapore. These are the countries right now which heavily using the Salesforce. Heavily. If you go in the Google also, US, UK, then Europe side, and then Australia, and then Singapore. These are the areas where Salesforce heavily focusing. Right now, Salesforce focusing in Africa region also. So now they are expanding their business in Africa, as well as they are planning to implement the same thing in the side of Turkey. They are planning to open one branch there, Turkey, and then they also going to implement. There's a area called Arctic Bay. They also going to implement the server there also. So I will let you know that how you can update yourself on a daily basis related to Salesforce. There is a Salesforce daily news channel which you can subscribe over there, like because Salesforce every 4 months Salesforce release a new feature. So that feature you should be aware. So how you wanna keep yourself updated, I will also let you know that. How I keep myself updated, the same way I'm going to let you know. So because nowadays in every 4 months Salesforce changing something, so you should be aware. It is not a major change, but it is a functionality change or feature change. That's it. And then the database. So database, it is where we're going to store our information. So these things are mandatory in cloud computing, and the same thing Salesforce have implemented through through laptop, PC, or mobile. We can access Salesforce. Then to access that, we have to require a network connection, and then the server is the Salesforce server here, and the database is the Salesforce database where we're going to store our data. Now, these are the services provided by the cloud computing. So whenever you go in the market and you want to buy a cloud computing services, those services come into three different flavor. One is a SaaS, which is a software as a service. Second one is a PaaS, which is a platform as a service. And third one is a as it is an infrastructure as a service. So software as a service, you can understand like a Gmail or your Salesforce. Salesforce.com and Gmail, and then WhatsApp, and then Zoom, and then Google Meetings. These are the software as a service. It means we are not doing anything. We are just using as it is. Whatever features come in the market, we are just using directly. We are not doing any development. So we are the end user. So right now I'm using a Zoom meeting to connect with you. You also using a Zoom meeting to connect with me. So it is a software as a service. And behind the scene, I'm using my hardware, which is a laptop. You also using your laptop or mobile. And then we are connected through the internet. So these things are coming in between. So this Zoom application is working as a software as a service because we are just using directly. We are not doing anything. Then the platform as a service, it means we bought some platform as a service, and then we building our own services in that. So same way, when company bought a license for Salesforce, we got two licenses. One is a SaaS and one is a PaaS. So Salesforce.com is a SaaS, and then Force.com is a PaaS. So in the Force.com, we're going to develop our own custom application. We're going to write a code. We're going to implement some logics, and then we're gonna modify the platform. And then after modifying the platform, we're gonna launch our own software as a service. So Salesforce provide two things. One is a SaaS, and second one is a PaaS. Yeah, it is in the next slide. Don't worry. It is in this slide. Don't worry. I have put it here. Everything. So you will. I'm also going to share my PPTs with you guys. No need to worry about it. So don't worry about it. So whatever content I have, you also going to have the same content. I'm going to share this PPT over the channel so you can. So no need to write or type anything. You just need to understand. Yeah, I thought First.com is no. So we just started the session, so just be patient. I'm going to explain you one by one because no, it is a first session, so definitely the doubts will come as I'm going to move forward. The doubt will come more and more. But once you got familiar with Salesforce, I mean like 2 or 3 day class, then you will automatically going to have a good understanding that what is Salesforce, what is this SaaS, what is this PaaS. It is just a beginning class, so definitely you will have a doubt. So just understand. Now this is the cloud service model which you need to pay attention. Whatever I just explained you in the previous slide, what is a SaaS, what is a PaaS, what is a. So SaaS means packaged software or application which we're going to use directly. So it is for end user directly. So right now I'm using a Zoom application. You also using Zoom application. So it is a direct application. We are just direct login, and we just click on that link and we join the meeting. And through joining the meeting, I'm giving my session to you. I'm sharing my screen. We are just directly using this application features. We are not modifying any features. We are just directly using. So whenever you are using any feature directly, you're not doing anything. It is a SaaS application. So SaaS application have three features. First, it should be over the internet, and you should have hardware to connect. And then third is a database. So here in this Zoom application, we are connected through the internet, and then the data is on the Zoom account, because whatever recording is happening, it is going to save into the Zoom server. And then later on, I can download from there. You can also download from there. And we are the end user who using this Zoom application. So this Zoom application is one of the example of SaaS application. Same way in Salesforce, we have some application, predefined application, which we can directly use. So there is a Sales Cloud application, there is a Service Cloud application, which I'm going to show you when I'm going to log in into Salesforce. There are, whenever company bought any license from Salesforce, some of the predefined application is there. If you want to use it, you can directly use it. So when you're going to use those application, is Messenger or FaceTime considered? Yes, Messenger, FaceTime, Facebook, WhatsApp, Gmail, these all are SaaS application. It means we are not doing anything. We are just directly using as an end user. So these all are SaaS application. So SaaS application only have two conditions. One, it should be connected to the internet. And the second one, there should be a data storage where we can store the data. So right now, let's say over the Slack channel, Slack is also a SaaS model. It is also a SaaS application. We are just connecting through Slack. I'm just checking your comment. I can also post files, and then we are not modifying anything. We are just using this Slack application features. So we are the end users for this SaaS application. Same way, when we're going to log in into Salesforce, there are some predefined application which is already there, which we're going to use. So when we're not going to do any modification or anything, and we just directly going to use, it is a SaaS application. Now, the second one, PaaS, platform as a service. So in the SaaS application, Salesforce.com is a SaaS application. So whenever you're going to log in into Salesforce, you're going to use login.salesforce.com. That is your SaaS application. And whenever you're going to do any customization, any modification, or you want to build your own application, on that time we're going to use force.com. I will show you that force.com. Although it is from the salesforce.com, but behind the scene there is a force.com is working. QuickBook also one of the example. Then Google Sheets, Google Drive, these all are a SaaS application example. Now in the PaaS application example, we going to build our own application. We're not going to use a inbuilt application. We're going to build the application from the scratch. Let's say I want to build this Zoom application, but I want some more extra features. I want to change the name of this application. I want to change everything. I don't want to use this application. I want to build my own. So to build a new application over the Salesforce platform, a Salesforce provides us a force.com as a PaaS, where we can develop our own application. And after development, either we can use it or we can sell that application over the Salesforce marketplace. So there are some companies, not some company, there are a lot of companies who are developing the applications and who are selling those applications in the market. So same way, Salesforce also providing a platform where we can develop the applications, and after development, maybe you can use in your organization, or maybe you can sell to the other organization, or maybe you can sell into the App Exchange market. App Exchange is a place where all Salesforce application is registered. So if you want to build an application for App Exchange product, you have to register there. And after registration, you can build any application over the Salesforce platform. And after development, you can launch that application there. I will show you that thing also. So you understand now what is SaaS, what is PaaS. Got it? So whenever you want to build your own feature, we're going to use a PaaS, which is a force.com. And whenever we're going to use inbuilt application in Salesforce, we're going to use SaaS, which is a salesforce.com. Got it? Let me know if you have any queries, because these two are the major one. This one is it is also a part of Salesforce, but these are the 80% of area where Salesforce focusing, SaaS and PaaS. Because Salesforce is not dealing this infrastructure as a service. So right now Salesforce is not dealing in this. But Salesforce planning to introduce this one also later on. But right now this one is not in pitch. But overall, as a general idea in the market, if you go to the AWS server, AWS dealing in all three. AWS also provide this infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. AWS provide all three, but right now Salesforce only provide these two. This one is not possible right now in Salesforce, but Salesforce planning to implement. In the IaaS, here when we are going to develop the application, we also need a storage to host that application. We also need an infrastructure. So after development, when we're going to launch those applications, we're going to have a storage server also. So in the IaaS, there is only storage server are maintained. Now let me know if anybody have any confusion in SaaS or PaaS, because these two are the major one. And the third one, when you finish your development in the custom application, now you want to launch your application. So to launch that application, now when end user is going to use that application, end user is going to use it because they want to store the data. So after this application development, where are you going to store the data? You need a storage. So to need a storage, you have to take the license of this IaaS, where you're gonna get your server storage network. And then you're gonna connect this IaaS to the PaaS. So whenever they're going to use this application, they're going to store the data into this. It is a technical term in the backend, how the infrastructure as a service and software platform as a service are connected. Okay, let me check if we have any questions or query. Not in the Zoom. I'm checking the Slack. Guys, please let me know if you have any confusion, or can we move forward? Or you want me to repeat one more time? I'm happy to have you to give you one more. I have a confusion. Yeah, go ahead. There are no question confusing. Whatever you think, you can, whatever you feel it is a query or question, just ask. No need to worry, no need to afraid. I happy to answer all your questions, queries, because until and unless you're not going to ask the question, how I'm going to know that if you have any doubt or query. So it's good. Yeah, Maya, I'm looking forward. You can ask your question. Is that where you differentiate the difference between developer, administrator? No. Developer, admin, architect, that is in different slide. That is a role. Like once you learn the Salesforce admin and development, what are the career opportunity, what are the career role you can transfer? Because when you move into admin, there is some different modules. When you move into development, there is a different module. When you move into consultant, there is a different module. When you move into architect, there is a different module. So Salesforce.com is a SaaS, but you said we can create an application in AppExchange, which is in the Salesforce.com. Yes, behind the scene, although when you're going to launch the Salesforce.com, in over there predefined applications, which you can use directly. But you log in as a Salesforce.com to use those applications. Now you want to build an application. So we're going to use force.com. Yes, to create an application, we need a PaaS, platform as a service. But the way to launch that platform, it is from the Salesforce.com. So you need to log in into Salesforce.com, and over there one button one setting, which when you're going to click that setting, it is going to launch the force.com as a platform as a service. So the launching part is happening from the software as a service, but when you click there, it is going to launch your force.com services. And once it is launched, you can develop the application there. So the login into SaaS and into PaaS is the same, but when you're going to, I'll show you that from where you have to launch for the PaaS, from where you have to launch the SaaS. Don't worry about it. But the technical term is Salesforce.com is a SaaS service and Force.com is a PaaS service. Where we're gonna develop the application, it is a Force.com. Where we're gonna use that application, it is a Salesforce.com. Okay. So set it up. We'll launch the Force.com, which is a PaaS. Yes, of course, which is a PaaS and which is totally related to the Force.com. Can you explain what do this abbreviation stand for? Software as a service, it is in the previous slide. Let me just go. Software as a service, which is a SaaS. Platform as a service, which is a PaaS. Infrastructure as a service, which is a IaaS. This definition is in the previous slide, which I have mentioned. Yep. Any more question, guys? Yep. Got it. Okay. Shall we move forward, guys? Yes. Okay. All right. So here's the example. Platform as a service. So Force.com is a cloud-based platform where we can develop the cloud-based application and website. So one good thing, you can develop your own website also in the Salesforce platform, and you can launch your website from the Salesforce directly. And if you want to market your products, if you want to launch the website for any reason, you can do that. So Salesforce also provides the website feature. So you can create a website in Salesforce and you can launch. And then you can develop some other custom application and you can launch with the help of Force.com. So Force.com is a platform as a service. And Salesforce.com is a software as a service. Always remember. And this is the software as a service. These are the some of the example which SaaS is a software distribution model in which applications are hosted by the vendor. So these applications also developed by some of the vendors, and we are just using. So this Gmail, it is developed by Google. So we are just directly using. Facebook, it is developed by the Facebook owner, and we are just using. We are not doing any customization. We are not developing any other features here. We are just using. But Salesforce provide both way. Either you can use the inbuilt application, or if you want to build your own application, you can do that. And to build your own application, we're going to use platform as a service, which is a Force.com. And when we're going to use an inbuilt application, which is a software as a service, which is a Salesforce.com. Now, before moving to the next slide, I hope you got the idea. What is SaaS? What is PaaS? Right? Just checking the Slack if we have. All right. So now this is from here the actual Salesforce start. So starting the Salesforce. First, we required 3 things in the Salesforce to understand the Salesforce architecture. Because the Salesforce is over the cloud, and over the cloud it is happening like a multi-tenant architect. So Salesforce does not provide you a different instance. Salesforce using the multi-tenant architect. So multi-tenant architect, Salesforce have a big server, and that big server is used by other vendor also. Other vendor also means, let's say right now in the market, Salesforce have a millions of customers. So all millions of customer is using the same building. Same building means all same Salesforce server. And in that Salesforce server, when you're going to buy a license, when your company going to buy a license and they're going to they want to use a Salesforce. So in the same building, they're going to get a dedicated space because it is a remote server. It is a remote server and remote database. So in that, you will get your dedicated server. You're not going to get a whole building. You're going to get only the dedicated space. Dedicated space means whatever license and whatever storage you're going to buy from Salesforce, because that storage and license come with the different flavors. So if you buy an enterprise license, if you buy ultimate license, if you buy, there are some license there, which I'm going to show you later on in the slide. What are the license available in the Salesforce? What are the storage limits we will get? What are the features we will get? It is in the next session. But for now, understand, when you're going to buy a license from Salesforce to use a Salesforce feature, you will get a dedicated space in the same storage. And in that storage, Salesforce provide you the same functionality which they are providing to the other vendors. So you're not going to get a whole building. You're going to get only the dedicated space. So this multi-tenant means there are a lot of other tenant also who are using the Salesforce. And when you buy the license, you also going to use the same Salesforce server. And in that Salesforce server, you're going to get your dedicated space. It means in this space, this tenant will not go. You also not going to any tenant space. It is only dedicated for you. So when you have your username and password and you log in, it is only accessible by you, nobody else. If they want to access, they cannot. If you want to access there, you cannot, because it is protected by the Salesforce security layer. Is there a limit on Salesforce? Yes, definitely. So whenever you buy any license or any addition of Salesforce, it comes with the limitations. How much storage you will get, what is the storage limit, what are the file limits. So there are a lot of limits there. So later on, when you hit the limit, you can expand your area also. So let's say this storage is full. So later on you want to increase, so you can buy another storage. You can just pay to Salesforce, and Salesforce giving you the another instance, and they're gonna connect with. Is there a PH in this building? Sorry, I didn't get this PH. What you mean? Okay, that is. It is not like that. It is just for example purpose that Salesforce is a big giant right now. So whenever you're going to get the license, you will get the dedicated space in that building. So it is just for reference. I'm taking this building screenshot just to explain you that do not think whenever you're going to buy a license, you will get the whole storage. You will get the same Salesforce server, but you will get the dedicated space. So in that dedicated space, you're going to use your services. You're gonna build your applications and do some customization and all. So it is like then all the dedicated space is the same. So all the dedicated spaces used by other peoples, because there are a lot of company who are also using. You just bought. So later on, when you finish this one, let's say you hit the limit, you can raise a case to Salesforce going, and you just buy the another one. And then was this one finished, then you can. So using this storage, it is not like it will take like almost 10 years to fill. It is like your Google Drive. You have a Google Drive where you get the 15 GB storage as free. So when you bought a license, you will get like, I think 1 TB, 1 to 2 TB space you will get, and this 2 TB space you can use to build applications. You can build your own application. You can customize the existing one, or you can store the data. You can store files. You can do anything. Does buying another license means increasing your dedicated space, but not sharing with anyone? No, buying the another license, that you right now you bought one license to access this instance. Buying the another license means you are buying the second license so that second user can also access this one. You're not going to get the another instance. Buying the another license will also give you the second way to access this one. Buying the another license, it is a third way to access the same instance. But if you want to increase the space, you need to raise a case to the Salesforce. So they're going to increase when you're going to pay to them. So that's why the Salesforce license and storage come into the different flavors, which I'll show you. Majorly in Salesforce, there are 4 types of license which come with the storage limit. I have that PPT in the next session, which I'm going to explain. So right now, just understand that what is a multi-tenant architecture. Multi-tenant architecture means we're going to use the same Salesforce server, and in that Salesforce server, we will get our dedicated space. And in that dedicated space, we're going to use the application, we're going to build the application. We're going to do different steps. And that building storage is shared by you. So it means nobody can have a monopoly here. So let's say if anybody want to use all the storage, it is not going to happen. If you're going to use all the resources, it is not going to happen. You have your dedicated space, you can use that. So like a hotel apartment, when you go in hotel, you took one room and then you just stay in that room. So if you want to use it, you can use in that room, and then so something like that. So this multi-tenant architecture is like similar to that hotel room. So you will get your dedicated space. You can do over there. You can use the application. You can build your own applications and vice versa. Okay, let me see if we have more questions. Okay, so guys, you got the idea what is multi-tenant architecture. We are just going to use our own dedicated space, which is shared by other people. Yeah. Okay, how many people we have? We have like almost 22 people. I'm waiting for other people's to answer as well. And I highly encourage you to ask more question, guys. Whoever people is not writing in a chat window or a Slack, I highly suggest you to start asking questions, because if you're not going to ask the question, then I will not able to understand that whether you are grabbing the concept or not. So please be interactive in the Slack or maybe in Zoom, or if you like to unmute yourself, you can unmute and you can directly speak. So I would happy to give you a clear view of the picture, because one of the thing, I'm not from the IT background in the beginning. I'm from non-IT background, and since almost 5 years now, I'm working as a Salesforce as an architect level. So I can give you the best roadmap, the best way to learn Salesforce very fast as well as in a better way, because I have done some of the mistake in my early career. So I don't want you to do the same mistakes. So that's why I'm highly suggesting just try to be more like interactive and ask as many as question you have. Like renting an apartment in a building as a tenant, you rent a unit, pay rent, and also buy a license to access the unit. Right, correct, obviously, definitely. This is the perfect understanding, Russell. Yes. So the last piece of, then let's assume your friend will live with you and she will need to buy a license and need to pay it to. No, it is not like that. So right now your friend is living, right? It is your second user, and you also, so you are the first user, you are the second user, and then third friend also living in the same apartment. It means that is the third user. Does buying more license require more space? Yes, there is also a license limit. So let's say, because whenever you go in hotel, they allow only 3 or 4 people in one room. So let's say if the 5th people come, so that hotel guy will not let you in the same room. Same way, in the Salesforce have a license limit. So up to certain license you can add here, but after that, if the limit going to reach here, Salesforce suggests you to buy the another dedicated area. Yes, of course. Of Salesforce charging everything. There is nothing free in the world. First of all, Salesforce also charging for everything. So do not think it is a free. Yes. But the only thing Salesforce playing very smartly. That's why people believing, because Salesforce fulfilling their needs. Salesforce also focusing on customer need. Making money is enough, but Salesforce focusing on some other areas as well. So that's why in Salesforce there is nothing free, but they are charging some amount for that. Live with you, not live. Sorry. Yep. So live. If the another guy or a girl living with me, it's like a second user who using that apartment. So think like if I want to have another user to access this dedicated space, I can bought a second license, and if I want to have a third license, then I can get a third license for that. So each license have a cost in Salesforce. Which company has more license and space? Can you please give us an example? There is a big example. I have worked with the uh, if you have heard about the Gorilla Glass, which is a very famous company who built the Gorilla Glass for not just for the mobile but also for the toughen glasses. I have worked with the Gorilla Glass company who built. They are using the Salesforce, and over there are 1,500 users. So they have 1,500 license in their Salesforce. I have also worked with the GNC product company. If you have heard of, GNC is a world-renowned company who dealing with the supplement products. So they have like almost 800 license. 800 users are using their Salesforce just to maintain the Salesforce database. The Salesforce has a pay-as-you-go model, right? Salesforce have the same model, pay-as-you, but initially you have to put some money. After that, you can has a pay-as-you-go to model. Initially, you have to buy a dedicated space, and then as you go, then you can pay. Does Amazon use Salesforce or has? Okay, just give you a one clear picture. Amazon using a Salesforce, Google also using Salesforce, and Facebook. Now Facebook also going to use a Salesforce to manage their WhatsApp activity. They are planning to implement a Salesforce. Also, the company I have Adobe also using Salesforce, Adidas also using Salesforce, Nike also using Salesforce, then GNC also using Salesforce, then DIFC also using Salesforce. Because if you go in the Amazon career, they are hiring for a Salesforce developer, Salesforce architect, Salesforce. So behind the scene, some of the activities in the Amazon, they are managing over the Salesforce platform. Same way, Google also implementing the Salesforce practice, because some of the data they are managing over the Salesforce. So that's why. So Salesforce is like almost whatever is the big company, anyway, anyhow they are using a Salesforce in the backend. So Salesforce is not just for CRM tool nowadays. Almost since 5 years when I enter into Salesforce, since then till now, like companies have changed everything. Company has changed everything. The business model have changed the use of Salesforce. Previously, it is using like a CRM, but now it is using like a cloud storage or a building an application, building the desired application for desired customers, and to store the data. So it is up to you how you want to use the Salesforce. It is not just in CRM now. It is more than that. It is like an empty paper for you, a clear paper where you have to draw. So you can draw anything. You can build anything on Salesforce platform. Since I'm working like almost 5 years now, so I can say that you can build anything on Salesforce. Okay. Let me see if we have more question. Yeah, thanks for putting that link, Oz. So since we are talking the limits, so in the Salesforce, we have a governor limits. So whenever you bought any license or any addition, it comes with the set of limitations, and that limitation is just to revoke the monopolize of resource, because in that building, if you're going to use all the resource, then it is going you're gonna be monopolized. So Salesforce does not want to do that. That's why Salesforce put some limitations on each license. On each addition, they have put some restriction. So whenever you hit that limit, you just contact to Salesforce. It is not your duty. First of all, this buying a license, buying an additions, and doing anything, it is not your duty. It is the company account executive duty who going to buy the license, who going to increase the limit. It is not your duty. I will, when I'm going to explain you the career highlights, career role model, on that time I will explain you what are the areas you should focus more. It is not your duty to buy a license to increase the limit. It is the company account representative who contact to the Salesforce who bought the license. It is their duty. So it is not your duty. Your duty is to manage the Salesforce as a Salesforce admin, or develop an application as a developer, or working as a consultant to provide the company or an organization developer as a good way to do the best practice over the Salesforce, or maybe a design an application, a whole new application as an architect. Those are your duties, which I'm going to explain you one by one in the later on. I mean, not. I think we have less time now. Maybe tomorrow in the next slide, the upcoming slide, I'm going to explain. So magic of metadata. So these three things you need to understand. First is the multi-tenant architecture. Second one is there is a limits. Each addition, each license have a limit in Salesforce, just to revoke the monopolize of resource. And then the magic of metadata, because you know that Salesforce is changing their feature, they are increasing their feature, they're including more features. For 4 months, every 4 months. So in every 4 months, Salesforce adding some features, Salesforce adding some extra things, or removing some previous things which are not usable. So that is happening through metadata. Now this metadata, what is metadata? I'm going to explain you in a tomorrow, because to explain this metadata, I require at least 20 to 25 minutes. So this is on me. I'm going to explain you on tomorrow. What is a metadata? Because metadata, think like when you open your Excel sheet, when you put something, when you store the data in Excel sheet, so that Excel sheet is your metadata, and inside the Excel sheet is your actual data. So same way, Salesforce provide a metadata to us. In that, we're going to store the data. So metadata is data about data. It means, let's say, I want to store my name inside Salesforce. So to store my name, I should need a container inside a Salesforce. So that container call a metadata, where my name is going to store, where my photo is going to store. So whichever things going to hold that thing, it is that container is a metadata. So Salesforce focus on metadata things, because that's how they are implementing their features. That's how they are releasing their updates once in every 4 months. So this thing I will explain you in a broad way in a tomorrow class. So these are the Salesforce cloud right now in the market who are very much popular, and I highly suggest you to focus on these cloud more. So in our Salesforce journey, I'm going to explain the sales cloud as well as the service cloud. But there are marketing cloud as well, there are community cloud as well, there is a IoT cloud as well. These are just some of the cloud name which you should aware. In the sales cloud, we're going to see that how we can manage the sales activity, how we can record the sales activity, how we can configure the sales activity, and so on. And in service cloud, how we can configure, manage custom service activities based on the business requirement. Now, here the thing that I was talking to you, that some of the, all these clouds are on yes, all these clouds are in the Salesforce.com. Yes, because these are the pre-built applications. Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, these are the pre-built applications. Marketing Cloud, Community Cloud, these are the pre-built application which is over the Salesforce.com. And then there are two parts in Salesforce. One is the admin and then second one is developer. So right now we just started the admin part. It is just an overview of Salesforce, but from tomorrow onwards, we're going to start the admin part one by one, and then there is a development part. So admin part is that every functionality is built already. You just have to turn on, turn off, configure some settings, and that thing will automatically work. It is an admin part. Development part, you're going to write a code, and then after writing a code, you're gonna build the functionality. So in Salesforce, there are two ways to build the functionality. One is admin, where you're not going to write anything, where you're just gonna turn on some settings, do some extra configurations, and then the things will work. And in development, you're going to write a code where it is going to build an application automatically. So writing a code or developing a code in Salesforce is not that much hard like a previous days, like a Java developer, like a .NET developer, like a Python developer. You no need to require so much algorithms, so much data structure languages. All you need a little bit programming knowledge, and you are good to go. Which is going to be explained by when we're going to start the development part. But our focus for the next 1 month, our focus is on admin part, where I'm going to explain you each and everything related to sales and service cloud. So these are the environment we have in Salesforce. So let's see. So here I'm going to start my PPT, and but developer have admin knowledge, same as right. Yeah. Keep your questions noted down somewhere. From here, we're gonna start tomorrow because I need to hand over the class to the next trainer who are going to take your project. Okay, I have noted down your questions, so I will explain you this thing. But developer has to have admin knowledge. Definitely, this is the correct. It is an answer itself. If you want to be a good developer in Salesforce, you have to have a good admin area also. So that is why. Yeah, PPT I'm going to post it when we finish everything in this PPT. I'm going to post. So probably tomorrow I'm going to finish all the things in this PPT. So I will post this PPT in the tomorrow class. So you can have and you can look into it. So let me just make a host to the next trainer. Amat, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Based on your time zone. Let me just make you host.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And before starting, let me just thank you guys. Have a great day once again, and please keep your question and note it down somewhere. And we're gonna start tomorrow from where we left. Thank you, everyone. And let me just stop the recording as well.
Christian, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly, and you can start
Okay.
your.
Okay, so we are going to take like 10 minutes break, and then
Yes.
after that we will start.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ahmed, you can stop the recording because now you are the host. So you can stop the recording and then start again.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye.